By now, we've all experienced a tidal wave of coverage about the who, what, where, when, and how surrounding the death of superstar Michael Jackson. We know his music moved the world and that his peers and fans will forever remember him as the unquestioned king of pop. But what's truly amazing about this influential icon is how little we, the public at large, really knew about him as a person. What about Michael the man? In the next half hour, we'll visit with friends, collaborators who shared personal time with Michael at work and at play. We all knew Michael for heartfelt songs like We Are the World, but how big was his heart when the cameras were off?
I saw this guy go into an orphanage in Romania and turn the conditions around within 24 hours.
And only someone that Michael considered to be like family would really know what he was like as a father.
We talked about his moments when he was young and how, he would never have his children go through any of that.
In entertainment, kings are crowned based on the legacy created by their impactful body of work. But it's the everyday thoughts, feelings, and actions that define who we are as a person. This is what we leave behind to our friends and family, to those who are close to us, our human nature. I'm Tim Cash, and welcome to Michael Jackson's Human Nature. To most of us, Michael was larger than life, both as a performer and as a humanitarian, and he often seemed to operate in his own way. What few people know about him is that, hey, the man loved to go out and party once in a while. But don't let me tell it, it just so happens that Michael knew an expert on the subject, Diddy. It probably goes without saying that if you're not on the list for a Diddy bash, you're not getting in. So how do you play it if the king of pop unexpectedly shows up wanting to get his groove on?
I was throwing this party for the MTV Movie Awards. I was starting to plan to really do my entree onto the scene as an actor. I invited everybody. Everybody was there. The Beckhams was there. And I remember Beyonce was there, Jamie Foxx, Ashton, Cameron Diaz. It was Will Smith, Chris Rock, everybody that was moving and shaking in Hollywood. So the party's going on, the party's off the chain, the party's already a success. I remember Beyonce had just dropped Crazy in Love. I remember that's what was just killing the dance floor. And she was there. And so I remember the DJ, he ain't played yet, and the dance floor was warmed up, and everybody was saying, we want to hear the new Beyonce joint. That's how hot it was. Security comes to get me and says, you have a guest here who wasn't on the list. And I'm like, who? He's like, Michael Jackson. I'm thinking they joking around. I'm thinking like, they trying to maybe punk me. This is like I think Punk'd was out during this time. I'm not knowing what's going on. So then I go towards the back by like where the catering was, and it's Michael. And I'm like, Michael, what's up? Like, what you doing here? And he was like, I'm here with Brett Ratner. We came to the party. Is everything cool? Can we come? And I was always, impressed on how down to earth he was. But this is like extra down to earth. He's like asking, is it all right to come to the party? He's saying like, this party's really hot. You got to invite me to more of your parties. And then he leans over to me. We taking some pictures. He leans over to me. He's like, where's Beyonce? And I'm like, I didn't think I heard him correctly. He's like, I heard she's here. Where's Beyonce? And I'm like, okay, hold on. Let me go find out where she's at. So I run up on B. B is on the dance floor. I'm like, B, Michael's here. He wants to meet you, whatever. And so I get Mike, bring him over. He's like, I love the record, whatever. He goes and tells the DJ to play the record. DJ plays the record, and I recall them dancing. I don't want to be quoted for that. That could have been in my imagination, but I do recall them dancing or something. But even if they never danced, that's the way it is in my mind. But I'm pretty sure that they did dance. But the whole recollection of that, it was so real that Mike recognized the greatness in Beyonce early, and didn't have no ego about it, and was ready to meet her and give her hugs. And he was also ready to go for his as a man. I think we all as men at that time wanted to dance with Beyonce. And I remember Michael had the courage enough to come to the party, ask for Beyonce, and even dance with her.
When we come back, we learn what Michael Jackson was like as a father. Plus, how Michael stepped in to help save an orphanage in Romania. And how do you play if Michael Jackson wants to go out and catch a movie? Akon explains.
And I'm looking at these kids' faces, and they not even knowing that Mike is standing right next to me. Like, if they only knew this guy was standing right next, you know how much havoc that would have caused up in that place?
We went in the studio and I played him some beats, and just to watch like how Michael Jackson basically like would listen to music, and you know he would tap his feet and then he would move his head, and like you hear like this beatbox like coming from his mouth, like while he's hearing the music, he's actually like timing the rhythm and the whole thing. I mean, it was really amazing to see.
Welcome back to Michael Jackson's Human Nature. Throughout Michael's career, he always made it a point to personally reach out to the hot hitmakers of the moment when it was time to record new music. And rarely did these star artists miss an opportunity to work with the king of pop. One artist who got that opportunity was Akon. A couple of years ago, Michael invited him to a studio in hopes of writing new music. What resulted was one of the most memorable moments of Akon's life.
Like, my favorite moments was the day we actually met, because I didn't expect him to be that cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm expecting him to be this just diva, just, you know, hard to deal with, barely speak, you know, gotta send his message through somebody else. You know, like, these are the stories that you hear. You know, so I'm going upstairs and I knock on the door. And his bodyguard opens, said, okay, he's waiting to meet you. So I walk in, and he's in a spinning chair, but he's facing backwards. So I walk in the room, and his back is turned. And the guard says, yes, Mike's, you know, Akon's here. So he just spins around, and just, like it was all choreographed, right? So off top, I'm like, oh, boy. You know what I mean? As soon as he turns around and gets up, yo, what up, man? I was like, what up, Mike? And he gave me a pound, we hugged each other. He said, yo, man, I've been waiting to meet you for so long, man. This is a great honor. Thanks for showing up, thanks for making the time. And in my mind, I'm like, no, I should be thanking you right now for making the time, you know? But it was the craziest thing, because we sat down, we talked about Africa, we talked about my foundation, we talked about the music, we talked about girls. Like, we had a great, like, incredible time that day. I love movies. He was a moviegoer. He loves movies as well. And he was like, yo, man, I got to take you to this theater, this new technology they got. It's like 4D. Like, it feels like, you know, the images are right in front of you, like you're actually in the mix of it. And I was like, nah, I know 3D. He's like, no, listen, you got to check this out. I said, well, let's go. And he paused for a minute. He's like, okay, let's do it tomorrow. And I'm saying to myself, okay, I don't know how we expect to go to the movies, but you know what I'm saying? Like, this is Michael Jackson. Like, how the hell are we going to actually go to the movies? So the next day, you know, he calls my room. We was both staying at the Palm in Vegas. He's like, you ready? I'm ready. I was like, yeah, let me get dressed. But at the time, I thought he was just joking. I didn't think he was really, I thought he was going to probably just rent, you know, we go through the back late night or something. This is broad daylight. So he grabbed the kids. They looking normal. Mike comes out. He has his disguise on, you know. So I starts laughing because I didn't recognize him, you know. It wasn't like he had a fake mustache or he had a wig or nothing. He just had a simple hoodie on. So when you look at it, he could have easily passed to be a Saudi or somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we're going into the mall. We get on the elevator, go down. We're going through the hotel where they have the IMAX thing. And as soon as we walk in, all these kids just start coming running towards us, you know? So I'm like, oh, damn, I think they know who he is. And all the kids just caught running up to me, asking me for an autograph. So I'm like, okay, I should just go ahead and should I just toss him off before they recognize who he is or just play it cool? So he shakes his head and like as if, yeah, go ahead, do what you gotta do. So I'm signing autographs, taking pictures, and I'm looking at these kids' faces and they not even knowing that Mike is standing right next to me. Like, if they only knew this guy was standing right next, you know how much havoc that would have caused up in that place? So we get into the theater and then the manager greets us up front. So he comes and hands us the tickets. We're all seated. So as we, you know, talking, sometimes I forget that he's supposed to be in his disguise, you know.